Okay, so here we have a Volvo D3 2011 S40. We're going to clean out the EGR pipe. That's the back end of it, I think, and there's the front end of it just under the manifold. We've done this before on the S60 D3, very similar setup. We've already opened up the back end and it wasn't too bad. So I'd start there just to see how bad it is, but generally, if you don't know if it's been done before, see this little socket here? I don't know if you can see that, but if it's facing that way, you can be assured it's never been opened up, because when we put this back together, we'll put it back so that socket's facing us. They've obviously done that on purpose, so it's very difficult for the home mechanic to do it himself, but we'll show you what's inside. We're going to clean it out, and we're going to scoop out as much from underneath here as possible. Alright, one thing we will say is we've done this in the past, and here's your EGR valve here. In the past I removed that. I took this off here, and I removed that. Obviously you'd want to disconnect the battery if you do that. What I found is you don't need to take that off, because you can access inside from this side and you can access inside from the other side. So in my opinion, removing that's a waste of time, unless you really want to give it like a full-on good clean, but we'll be able to do that anyway. It's all about removing the thickness of soot from the walls of the pipe and the EGR. We can do that without disconnecting the battery. Now that's the other side, so it's not too bad, but I'm going to clean it. The S60 I had D3 was a lot worse, but still that needs cleaning as far as I'm concerned. This has done 100,000 miles, okay? It's about 160 whatever thousand kilometers, so it's not too bad considering. And here's the pipe here, so it's probably got a good 3 mil of soot, so we'll clean that out. Just open the other side. So we cleaned this side the other day, it wasn't too bad, but we're gonna clean the rest out now. Okay, so what you see there, that little lip, that's an actual metallic lip, so that's not carbon on the lip. That you don't need to scrape that off because you can't, but let's see. So there it is there from the other side. So we just used a spoon, a long spoon, just to scrape it out. We haven't cleaned out up here yet. Up here. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Doesn't look too bad, hey? But right there, that's what came out of the EGR valve, so it's quite a bit. So we got that out with a spoon. That's quite a bit, and that's what came out of the pipe in there, and it was dry, so which is good. It scraped out easy. Quite a messy job. Do wear gloves. We did wear gloves, but yeah, that's it. Now the hard part, putting it all back together. Pretty cool, pretty clean. Pretty clean in there. Now, what I did at the end was just with an extremely damp cloth, not soaking, like, you know, a little bit of water, then like squeeze the water out with another rag just so it's like malleable. It's damp, it's just gently damp, and then I just wrapped up this stick and just gave it a final wipe down inside, and it looks pretty good. Alright, so to make this a bit easier to get things back on, I've just sprayed a little bit of some silicone WD-40 on these areas, just so like the pipe slips on a lot easier. If you don't, you're going to be up against it. So we did it when we did it on the S60 D3, and it came out a lot easier. But fingers crossed it's not a pain in the ass to get back together. So there it is inside the pipe, a lot better. There's the light there, see? And again, we just ran through that damp cloth just to kind of smoothen out the sides, but it wasn't too bad in the end. Quite a bit came out of the EGR valve. It wasn't really worth, it was very thin in there, so whether it's been done before, that's the question. But all in all, a successful clean. So all in all, we got that out of the EGR valve, which is quite a bit. It didn't look as bad, but that's quite a bit that came out, and that came out of the pipe in there. So we just used a spoon to scrape it all out. Yeah. Okay, so we are done now. I mean, the trickiest part is getting it back together. I mean, getting it off isn't too bad, but you know, it's such a tight fit that getting it all back together seamlessly is quite difficult. It's quite a struggle, but we got it back. And what we did here is with this little socket here, we just faced it back, facing this way, because it was facing the other way, and it's very difficult to get off. But you know, when I put it back together, I put it facing back this way, so it's easier to get off again if we need to. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. A bit of carbon came out, a bit of soot came out. I'm sure others is worse. That wasn't too bad, but it still, I think, needed doing at the end of it all. So without further ado,